when I think about this music, I think that like this is not something that I'm going to turn on, or I don't need multiple things going on while I'm listening to this. Like I can just be immersed in the music.
Yeah.
And that's a different time. Back then it was definitely a thing that was happening.
Yeah.
And now it's like that's not happening. It's a different kind of world.
Yeah.
Like, that's what kind of thing like D'Angelo really kind of overthought the Black Messiah record to a certain extent, because he's like, people are not going to listen for 7 minutes to me jamming on the charade. And I'm like, yes, they will. Yes, they will. And if they won't, I still will. I'm right here. I'm ready to hear it.
You got some of us.
Yeah, like, after hearing that live version, I'm just like, with Chris Dave and them just tearing it up. I'm like, this is amazing. But he's thinking about the time that we're in right now. And it's like, not the time coming, which is like, no, I want more of that.
I always say, man, the litmus test I know for me is because I drive home to Atlanta. I know from Richmond,
right? Yeah,
okay, 85.
Yep.
And so, my thing is, if you can still 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, take a thing and put it on a road trip and vibe out the whole way, not skip anything. You've got one that's
one.
I know that stands the test of time. And so man, I think Voodoo, and another thing I know that makes Voodoo, I know for me, like when I say classic or timeless, something, is I don't look at it just from like a musician standpoint. I look and see like who else is kind of raving about it. And all last week I saw non-musicians making like, oh, this joint's classic. It was this, it was that, it was this. And even though this is the first one, I know the others are going to have their time in the sun, right? And it's going to be interesting to see what people say about those, like moving forward. But man, I mean, I think as a culture, we wait until that moment to say, oh yeah, this is dope, or this is dope. Not like, okay, 10 must-have albums you need to have. This, and this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wait until something happens, or something is like, oh yeah, like D'Angelo did do a classic album. Well, he did do, this, or like Erica did do, because I know one thing about all of them, all three of these. Like people may not realize who came after the fact, right? But all three of these were a complete turn from what they did previously. It's true. That's true. That's true. What I'm saying? Like all of them were a complete.
I think the thing with D'Angelo was everybody knew that he had the potential to do this. Though I think that it's very rare when the artist that you really enjoy will give you the record
that you really enjoy,
that you really think that they could give you.
It's he did it.
You're like, no, yeah, because it's like, I was like 10 years too late on Prince. I was like, I still think he could give me this. He never did. But it's like D'Angelo, the Voodoo record was the exactly record that people wanted at the time, and it was perfect because it was just like the start of the 21st century, and yet it's like such a raw, gritty sound, and there were amazing ton of Prince references. Chicken Grease for one, Africa, the Africa song with the drum beat from
Lynn drum, the drum from Parade.
Yes, with the drum beat from Parade, and it's all those kind of things. The Chicken Grease Spanky, like playing that groove. Untitled. The songs are long. The background vocals are like. Really,
shout out to Anthony Hamilton and Shelby J.
Shout out to them. And the background vocals are on the record. Too. Are just like are a world.
Overdub.
They're a world to themselves.
Oh yeah, Marvin Gaye school of overdubbing background.
It's on another level, man. Yeah. And so I think it definitely has stood the test of time, and hopefully we'll get something from him soon.
So we gotta do a Voodoo tribute show, man. We gotta, I know we gotta assemble some cats to do it.
Yeah, no, you gotta look. Yeah, it was 6 months of rehearsals. Yeah. One show, $100 a man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, no, thank you. But we're gonna close out on that. But Ricky, appreciate you so much. For being
always a pleasure, man. Glad you.
Meter. And we'll definitely do some other other Prince themed or whatever shows when I feel like it, because this is my show. I can do what I want and it's very exciting.
Hey man, well hey, let's see, what's this? Actually, man, I'm going up to New York in the spring. I'm doing a Dirty Mind 40. A Graffiti Bridge 30 like symposium. I know my homegirl is doing, man.
Oh, word.
And so I'm speaking on a panel about the times pandemonium, like 30 years.
You talking on the pandemonium?
Oh man, I'm talking on pandemonium.
Man, that is awesome.
Man, yeah. So
that's so cool.
Hey, look, if you free, roll up, man.
Yo, look, send me the date on that one because I need to come up for that.
I'll tell my homegirl, say, man, you coming? You might have a word or two to share.
Yo,
but
man,
if you want to do something, man, like on our own. I mean, like Dirty Mind turns 40 in the fall.
Oh yeah, look, we could do a bunch of stuff, man. I mean, we could just record it and then I'll just put it out when the anniversary comes, man. Because I'm always down to talk about Prince stuff, man.
Yeah, like Dirty Mind's influence on Lenny Kravitz's whole career.
Well, next time we should definitely talk about the 1999 complete. Did you get that? Did you get complete?
Oh yeah.
Because we got to talk about that. Because
is it complete though? Really?
Is exactly Ricky.
I tell you what, and you can leave this on here.
Yeah.
I mean, for the listeners, it's a complete. I ask, is it complete? Because at this point, when you listen to a Prince box set, it's not complete unless you have the Protégé albums that came out at that time.
Well,
redone with it.
Yeah. Well,
because when you think about it, like when you really want to look at his 82 output, you gotta listen to Vanity Six's album and the Times album.
But there's a lot of other stuff too. But the thing is that the problem is that he's used so many of those versions from that period later. Like, whenever there's going to be a Graffiti Bridge, whatever, like they're going to have to put out that version of Tick Tick Bang.
Oh yeah,
the like with the punk beat on it.
Yeah.
I heard that and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
I was like, this is my jam all over again. I was like, this is all over again. This is my one. But we definitely gonna do that because because I have to get my Prince feelings out.
And I was disappointed on the DVD that it didn't include the Time and Vanity Six portion, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I say to say this. I mean,
well, they can come out with their own. That's the thing. They can come out with their own. They can come out with their own box set for it. Probably.
No, but they won't. I mean, the state's not gonna do that. I mean, the guy already said they're not gonna do that. But I say this to say this: when you, just like the Dwayne like Two Dog book, when you read it and you marvel at, wow, this dude did all Purple Rain stuff and unreleased stuff, Sheila E stuff, Outblowing Sixes stuff, the Time stuff, and rehearsals. And film score.
The thing is that I don't need to hear the Sheila version after I hear the Prince version because you still.
That is
what I mean? Like, cause after I heard the Prince version of Yes, like from the Family.
Yeah, you was like, I'm good.
I'm good. I don't need to hear the Family official version, because that Prince version is where he touch it.
But my point is this: to really capture that era, you gotta take. Like all in, because you're like, wait a minute, this dude did his double album,
well,
and a Vanity Six album, and a time, and his outtakes.
They got to do something like where they would have to restart the Paisley Park label or something like that. If they were going to do that, they should do that and then remaster the records,
right,
and then they could come out with the companion to that. Because that's what they need to do. What they should do is, what they need to do.
I get it. Hey man, listen. Like I know, like I'm speaking from a fan perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I get that.
Educated
in order to
fan,
do
though.
that, you got to pay somebody.
You got to pay somebody.
And you got to pay. You got to pay long. But
we're educated. We know that it costs money. For that to happen.
But I also know too that. Take a look at what Columbia did with Miles Davis box sets. And them things sold. Like you remember, like I mean, all the Bitches Brew sessions, all the On the Corner sessions, like all those things.
Look, the Live Evil sessions.
Those things.
That was my jam,
that were panned when they came out. When they remastered them, put the unreleased stuff in, and did the liner notes right. When it's done right, people are go buy it. And I will say this about the 1999 box set: it was done right.
It was done right. It was done right,
and it sold out.
Yes,
it's sold. And you know, they started it with the Purple Rain piece.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. The fans don't need 7-inch edits. You can keep that.
Yeah. No, we're good. I'm good.
You can keep all that and give us more, you know, give us just unreleased stuff.
Yeah.
You can keep that, but they started even with the Purple Rain box set. It for at the time when it came out, I thought it was done right. I said, okay, y'all got this stuff.
Fine.
It was cool, but you know, they had the 7-inch edits disc. And I was like, y'all could have kept that. But then I know with this one, again, they got better. Yeah. They still had the 7-inch version.
I mean, some people, you know, I mean, obviously, if it's in better condition, some people want that if they're DJs or whatever. So I understand that. I get that.
Okay.
Mixes and
Good point.
I get that. But, yes, no, I could look. But, you know, they were testing the market. You know how they do.
Yeah.
Testing the market to make sure that it's going to sell. And the Prince, all the Prince stuff has been doing they've obviously been doing really well.
Man, it's been selling out.
It was, you know, people still waiting for their box sets.
Yeah.
They still waiting for Crystal Ball. They still waiting. They still waiting. All of them.
Man, look here. I got mine, like, you know, like when I knew it was coming. And I know my advice to, like, any other person, if you hear something's coming out, I don't care if it's originals too, or what have you. Better get it when you can, because when it's gone, you know, I know cats look and say like, man, I ain't get Hit and Run Phase 1 or Phase 2. I'm like, oh, you didn't? I got mine. Or you didn't get the Purple Rain box? Hey, man, you better go get it while it's there.
We just hopefully just like with the estate will stay in the right hands and Warner will still keep doing the right thing. Then it hopefully will work out.
Well, man, so you know, I get it. He has just by itself 30 albums.
Yeah, it's got a lot of music.
And then when you factor in
the vault, you know, all that stuff. The vaults of all of different kinds of varying quality,
right? And then when you factor in like Protege stuff, you kind of like, okay, like where do we start? I get why they did Purple Rain first. I mean, you know,
it's the most popular record. It's most well known.
I get why they did
1999
because those were the MTV.
Those are the
things.
records. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Get those out the way, and then you can make way for the hardcore fans.
Yeah, I mean, so you know, I would, you know, just given that, I would probably say because it was a big hit, Kiss, you know, like Parade would probably be next. You know, I don't think Around When the World in a Day would, but I think because Kiss was such a big tune.
You would have to put those two together. You would just have to put that era together just because he was recording so much music.
But you know what has helped the estate is the success of Dwayne Tudor's books, man.
Yep. Yeah,
that has really helped, and hopefully this new book.
No, this new book looks really good. That new book looks like the Bible.
Yeah,
like he's like, oh, I'm coming with it on this one.
Man, he said it's coming out in March. I think when I order mine and it comes, I'm gonna take a day off. Just like, don't bother me.
Shoot,
I'm checking out from the world for a couple of days. But you know, speaking of Prince box sets, man, I know they won't do it, but what would really be dope. Is if they did a Madhouse 8 and 16, all 3 versions of 24.
Listen,
and Eric Leeds. Solo joint. The first one.
If they could do it, they got to do it because they're doing this. They're doing this with George Harrison's record label.
Oh, okay.
Dark Horse. They're bringing back Dark Horse Records, and if they do that for Paisley Park, that would be fire. I mean, if they do that, then they could do that because then you could come out with a limited edition or just have it streaming. You don't even have to be. It doesn't even have to be a physical. It doesn't have to be a physical release. It could just be streaming and just have them remastered, and it'd be fire.
Yeah. Man, people would scoop that up so bad. Do you know how much Madhouse stuff goes for, man, on Amazon? It's like $160.
No, really?
Bro, yeah, people, man, listen. It's amazing how, you know, like you and I know. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like, we remember seeing it
in
the store.
I can't even, man.
But here's the kicker. Thank God for stuff like, I forget the service now. But anyway, you know, I've come across, you know, a couple Madhouse rehearsals. You know, I've come across all 3 versions of 24.
Yeah,
I'm like, man,
listen. I mean, look, that stuff is gonna make its way out. You know, and you know, there's gonna be
you know what, and that's the other thing too. I know a lot of fans are like, we want this now. We want You know what I'm saying? You gotta like it takes time to clean this stuff.
It takes time. It takes time, and those guys, that's all they're doing. They're spending time in that. And
in defense, I mean, you know, and they know